Okay, so we've been through Madonna's basic kinesiology classes. That is the classic and also
The kinesiology for the home and health as well.
and health as well.
Informational masterclasses.
Now the third one is
The third one is Kinesiology Foundations. Now, I've run this twice so far. So this year will be a little bit different. This term will be a little bit different. Last year, both times I ran it, it was 14 live sessions. This time it's going to be one live session per week for 7 weeks. It might be a little bit more than that, depends how much we get through. But then there's informational videos that you'll watch beforehand. So there's homework.
okay.
So this time there's definitely homework you need to do. Then you need to practice and you bring along your questions to the live classes.
Of course, homework and practice are the essence of any good positive therapy.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing about it is there's so much, because as soon as someone joins up for Kinesiology Foundations, they automatically get the videos. The second they've paid, they automatically get all of the videos from the first round of Kinesiology Foundations, so they can start at home immediately.
Yeah, that's nice.
And they're infusing the essence of Madonna.
Right.
Well, but yeah, the thing I love
about kind of a homeopathic thing.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so you're getting me at a 5 million CCC. So, only joking. So basically with Kinesi Foundations, it's the stuff that I found. Now, this is much more intense than kinesiology for the home because there's a lot of information in there. And it's the reason I put it together is that there's so many poor words in kinesiology, so that when you start kinesiology training, you can easily have an idea that a unlock is wrong and a lock is right, or that we're strong. It's not about strong and weak. It's not about right and wrong. But I teach a lot of extra little things in there because, for example, most of you will have heard this story, but my hubby, I could not muscle test him for at least the first 8 months I was doing kinesi. Could not do it. And it was because his muscles were hypertonic. So I teach from the first or second session about hypertonic muscles.
Means that
they're too tight. Muscles are too tight. So, I'm teaching and everywhere on the internet, you see people do this. So apply kinesiology, you have someone put their arm out and then they're pressing down here. Now, as soon as that comes up more than 45 degrees, instantly you're bringing in the whole shoulder girdle. So there's a lot more muscles involved in that muscle testing.
We need to isolate this muscle.
Yes. But the other thing is I see constantly is people with their fists tight. In these kinesiology training sessions online, it's BS. It's total BS. That is the way to set up people for failure right from the start. So I teach people really well things to look out from the start. I teach people so that even if you've got a husband like mine, who is not muscle testing and not unlocking, you've got systems in place so that you can go, well, we'll ignore that because that's easier to do and go and try something different.
Okay.
And it works 99.999% of the time. It's bloody awesome.
And doing it that way, it gives people a comparative example if they want to go out and research further, so that it gives them a baseline to see what else they can find that, like, because they might already know something.
Yes.
They might already be.
Look, I've had one of the guys who's joined my masterclass, the Signature System 15 months training program. He's got 37 years as a kinesiologist. Actually, if I could find it, I would share his he accidentally gave me the most brilliant He gave me the most brilliant testimonial.
Oh, okay.
Because he's been doing it for 36 years. So he just found me, I think one of my big advocates, Troy, he sent him along to me, and love you, Troy, and wishing you well. And he basically sent this guy along to me, and this guy who's been doing kinesi for over 30 years, he just got so many gems. Right, because I think the main reason is that I refuse to stick to the rules with training. So if I was just teaching Touch for Health, I would have to teach straight from that syllabus. Same with NOT or hypertonics or you name it, you stick to the syllabus. I've chosen to do it differently, which is why I'm doing it in this format, which is why we have the private groups, which is why we have the private videos, so that we can share as much really fantastic information.
Right, because there's a metaphor for that in narrative therapy. The founder of narrative therapy, Michael Wyatt, he found that counsellors stuck in this box.
Yeah.
And the discoveries that he made, he used to call reading outside the profession.
Wow.
And it's some of the best ideas come out of the profession box, and this, like they added in narrative therapy, they added anthropology to it in the assessment. And so now the Aborigine people who they use narrative work on them because it takes into the whole cultural earth-based anthropology, because the other guy who started was an anthropologist. So reading outside the discipline, sometimes if a person's good, they can pull in new ideas from out, which is what you've done.
Yeah, and because I've been a naturopath for so long, it's been really interesting being a kinesiologist because I go to seminars all the time. And these seminar people who want to sell their products, let's face it. And hey, I like getting people well, so I'm always happy to go along to things. But I would come back in the clinic, I would put those supplements in a list of supplements, and a lot of things don't muscle test up, which is sort of really interesting to me because why don't they muscle test up? If they say, yeah, we've done this study on this many people and we had a 95% improvement, you know, and it's safe and effective, of course, with 95% improvement. Ha ha.
But you do have a choice. Like if you're intuitive. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
No, but you also have a choice. The muscle testing gives you an option.
Yes.
Because you can still go with your intuition or your technique of what the naturopath book says.
Yes, exactly. And if someone's got, like, I will always, if someone has a list of supplements when they say come into my clinic, use up the supplements first. You know, unless they're toxic or something, they're not going to do us any harm most of the time. So it
the good
something.
Thing about most supplements, herbal remedies, they don't really have any side effects.
Unless they're toxic.
They do sometimes.
Yeah, so pesticides, herbicides, you know, that sort of thing are a real problem, especially coming from some places overseas. And that's why, you know, it's why trusting a company that you're buying from is really important. But don't forget, if you're buying from overseas, you know, you're getting the radiation in the plane and all sorts of things. So, you know, it's always, as always, it's really tough. But buying as local as we can, if we can, is always a good thing. But it's tough.
And herbs are so beautiful, I guess.
Herbs are amazing. But yeah, so in Kinesiology Foundations, there's a whole bunch of structural stuff. There's amazing immune system things, structural balancing. There's actually the beginning of the brain integration that I love. So I've been doing brain integration processes for over 25 years, and I've thrown in some of that into the Kinesiology Foundations as well, as well as calming the amygdala.
The brain becomes disintegrated for all sorts of reasons, through trauma. People with ADHD, any of the spectrum people will have the
neurospicy people.
Neurospicy.
But the frontal cortex shuts down under stress. So then our short-term memory disappears and then we feel like a dope. And as soon as we feel like a dope, we start going into that self.
Midbrain.
We sort of start.
Well around here.
Yeah, it's a stress cycle.
Nerve energy doesn't make all the way to the top and around.
Yeah. So that's the Kinesiology Foundations. It's, you know, I'm really proud of it. It's a lot of information.
And generally you use essences rather than herbs with when you're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely true.
Straight out of the bottle.
So and in my kinesiology mastery, I'll be doing a lot of flower essence. And I haven't actually thought about maybe master classes. I have not put anything like flower essences in there as a possibility. Okay. It's expensive for people to buy them, you know.
You need the whole set.
Yeah, to be a
like the bush flowers or buck remedies.
Yeah, and there's sort of, you know, there may be. Anyway, so yes, unless someone's got a bioresonance machine. So if someone has the Solix bioresonance, you can actually make your own flower essences.
Really?
Yeah, another bonus. So hit me up about that if you're interested. Actually, that's really interesting having said that, because they've got all the Australian bush flower essences and all of the bark flower essences. So all of those can be made. That's how I'm going to fill in my gaps.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Just saved myself couple of $100 in cool, that's cool. Anyway,
that's it.
So that's Kinesiology Foundation. So we'll come back in a second, have a bit of a chat about
it. And it's so the other one was $120, 600. This one's $1,200.
This one's $1,200. It is a massive amount of information. Once again, you get the first. Well, certainly I've got an email ready to go. The second someone pays, they get the first 12 lives, you know, so they can kick into that immediately.
It's 8 sessions?
7, but they get the first 14.
Right.
And some of them aren't complete. So what you get is what you get, but because I had technical issues, but there's so much information there. I actually did a couple of makeup classes when my technology was my friend.
Right. But it's still good value. It's under $200 session.
I know what's in this course. I know it's amazing value.
Yeah, well, it's good.
You know, I know the amount of information I give.
Yeah, well, when you think about the price of things.
Yeah.
And then we've got the final class.
So we'll come back in a second. We'll chat about the signature system.
Okay.